Okay.
We good to go? Good morning, everyone. The Delaware County Commission meeting for November 8th, 2018 is now in session. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, good morning, everyone. Make some introductions. To my right is Vice President Commissioner Barb Lewis. To my left is fellow Commissioner Jeff Benton. Our clerk today is Jennifer Walraven, and our Administrator Mike Fromer. Let's begin.
Resolution number 18-1242 in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held November 5th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 18-1242. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment or elected official comment today, so that brings us to item number 4, resolution number 18-1243, in the matter of approving purchase orders and announce certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CM-APR 1107 and memo transfers in batch number MT-APR 1107.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 18-1243. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1244, in the matter of approving travel expense requests.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 18-1244. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1245, in the matter of a new liquor license request from Kilbourne Marketing LLC and forwarding to the Ohio Division of Liquor Control with no objections and no requests for a hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 18-1245. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1246, in the matter of setting date, time, and place for a public hearing to discuss the possible issuance of the Issuer of Healthcare Facility Revenue Refunding Bonds, Series 2018, for Willowbrook Christian Communities.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 18-1246. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1247, in the matter of amending the child placement service contract between the Delaware County Department of Job and Family Services, the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, and the provider Osterland Services for Youth Incorporated.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
Good morning, Angela Thomas, Job and Family Services. We currently have one child placed at Osterland, and the current contract expires 12/22, and this is a new contract with a maximum amount of $90,000 that we're asking for your approval on.
Any questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-1248. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1249, in the matter of awarding a bid and approving a contract between the Delaware County Commissioners and AE Funding Incorporated, doing business as Frigo Design for the project known as Invitation to Bid 1803, stainless steel showers for the Delaware County Jail.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
Good morning, John Melvin, Director of Facilities. This is a project we were working on with the jail staff to alleviate a problem out there with the showers and during their health department inspection. We bid this out. The bid estimate is $320,000. The low bid came in at $255,000. Recommending award.
Any questions or comments? Always glad to get a lower bid. Sometimes when maybe we estimate it too high, but we'll take it regardless.
Was this budgeted, John?
Yes, it was budgeted underneath the capital projects. I believe the budget was $400,000.
And we're doing it late in the year for just now getting around to it, or?
We looked at different procurement processes. We ended up bidding it out and, just trying to work through that whole process.
It's been around for a while. I mean,
Yes, it's
that
been a couple of years we've been trying to address
discussion.
this issue.
Very good. Any other questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-1248. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number
John.
18-1249, in the matter of certifying to the county auditor sanitary sewer capacity charges for 7133 South Section Line Road, Delaware, Ohio, 43015.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag, Director of Environmental Services. This is a residential property that would like to finance their capacity fees for a period of 10 years at the county's current finance rate. We request your approval.
Questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-1249. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1250, in the matter of declaring personal property obsolete, unfit, or not needed for public use, and the intent of selling such property via internet auction or disposal of property of no value.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion.
So this is a bunch of old computer equipment, monitors, keyboards, actual computers themselves. They're in the basement of our building, and they're between 10 and 20 years old. So I'm expecting that there's no value there, but we're going to first put them up for an internet auction, and then if they don't bring any value, we'll dispose of them.
Questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-1250. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank
We
you.
have a piece of other business to go into with.
If you would like to do that now, we
Why don't we
can.
do it while you're
Sure.
here standing? Sorry to get you out of, you're out.
I'll figure it out. There we go. Resolution number 18-1251, in the matter of approving a service agreement with Central Ohio Contractors to provide pavement restoration services at the Delaware County Transfer Station.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion.
So we're requesting to move forward with the contract for $50,000 to repair the asphalt access drive out at the transfer station. And the reason that this is happening so late and it's kind of a rush right now is because we were waiting to see what we were going to do with the transfer station. Now that we know that we're going to do an RFP for a new, larger facility in the back, we need to do something in the near term to allow that current facility to continue to be used for the next couple of years while they build the new one. So the 50,000 kind of patches things up for the next couple years. If we were to keep the existing facility for the long term, we had originally planned on spending over $300,000 for the access drive. So this will get us through until whatever the eventual plan is with that facility.
And there'll be more conversation of that in December at DKM.
Correct, yes.
Any questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-1251. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 18-1252, in the matter of approving an assignment and assumption agreement with Hushika North Central Distribution Center Incorporated.
So moved.
Second. That was close.
I've tried to, do you think you pronounced it correctly?
No, I'm sure I'm not.
Well, you want to take a shot at it, Bob?
Yes, Bob Lamb, Economic Development Director. Commissioners, before you is a request to authorize an assignment and assumption agreement with Hashizaki. They are a Japanese company that does commercial-grade restaurant equipment. They're looking at developing a new sales and distribution center in the Creekside development that is located just behind the Menards facility off of 23. They have purchased Lot D, which is approximately 3.5 acres in that park. This is the first project within that park. It should be noted that this lot was purchased in the same year that this park came online, so this is a great movement forward for the Creekside project. The request will allow them to become the holders of the incentive agreements that exist for that location for Lot D, which is the TIF, which is a 20-year 75 TIF, which is providing funds for us to address the Home Road Lewis Center connection, and then the remaining funds would still go to the developer in that area to help cover the cost of infrastructure development, and then also assigning them the CRA, the Community Reinvestment Area, which is a 50% abatement in taxes for their facility for 10 years, and then trailing off over years 11 to 15.
Any questions or comments?
What's the timeline for this project then, Bob?
My understanding is that they would like construction to begin generally right now with some movement of dirt, but mostly next year, and then open in 2020. Looking about 20 employees on site, average 56,000 income, which puts them above the Ohio median household income.
I was going to ask you what the payroll projections were, so that's, again, I think this is great news. We've been very excited about this project. I think it's our first real shovel-ready site in the county, and we've got more that we're working on, and I think this just proves that shovel readiness is critical.
Yeah, they started looking at this site even before it was fully ready. We have 2 more entities looking at 2 other sites within this location, and then also another at the large 40-acre piece. So we're very excited about the interest that we're seeing in the marketplace for Creekside.
It's great.
Great.
Any other questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-1252. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1253, in the matter of approving a development and incentive agreement with the City of Powell and the Ohio State University.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
Commissioners, before you is a request to approve an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Powell and Ohio State University. This will help facilitate sewer development along Sawmill at the Home Road location where Ohio State is planning to put in a medical facility. This is a several-phase project, up to 500,000 square feet or more in office medical facilities, up to 900 jobs located at the facility. We're very excited about this project. One of the great things about this project is approximately 4,000 of our county residents work for Ohio State Medical. So this would provide an opportunity for individuals to not just live within our community, but also to work within our community.
Any questions or comments?
Again, I would just like to compliment Ohio State and the City of Powell and everybody for, I know it's been a challenge getting the work done. These things usually are, but again, I think it's a great add to our community and will provide great medical care, economic activity. Again, I'm very excited about this, and I would also ask, what's the timeline on this one then, Bob?
I would look over to Ohio State and see what
Why don't you make introductions? I was going to ask you to do that.
Yes.
Aaron Underhill is the attorney that we've been working with very closely on this project, and Aaron is head of community development for Ohio State. We're very excited to be working with them. They've been great partners so far, and I think because of their hard work, we're really in a position to see this go forward.
So did you want to come up and address the question? Just reintroduce yourself.
Yeah.
My name is Aaron Underhill. I'm with the law firm of Underhill and Hodge, and representing Ohio State on all matters relating to the transaction and the zoning and et cetera. With me is Aaron Prosser with the university. Right now, we are hoping to have our development plans approved by Powell early next year. The delay, we thought we may have had it done by now, but we're still working through architectural, internally architecture and plans. You can imagine the design for a project like this involves a lot of people and a lot of thought. It's difficult right now to tell when this would get started. I would say the earliest would probably be 2020 for construction, based on the fact that we're still in the design phase. And obviously, there's a lot of bidding and contracting to do before we would get started.
Early 2020, late 2020, or?
I think the hope is for early 2020. Again, I think that 2019 will spend really doing the hard lift on the design side. There's certainly a lot of work to do just on the working with Powell and the community on the external portion, but the internal architectural design of these buildings is insanely complicated, and so that just takes a long time to get all the pieces and parts where they need to be. So it'll probably take us 2019 for design and then early 2020.
And for the record, Aaron Prosser, correct?
Yes, Aaron Prosser. You have to be named Aaron to work on this project, so you get both.
And we appreciate Bob and Mike's efforts on this. It is complicated, and especially with 3 parties involved. So we appreciate the time and effort they put into it and your commitment to the project.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate Ohio State coming to Delaware County. And on this project, I think the location is just wonderful for our citizens, and it really needed in the area, in that area of Delaware County.
And that's why I'm really excited to be up here in Delaware County and have a presence up here and work in this community and have residents join us as faculty and staff, but also
Yeah.
yeah, we're just really excited to be up in Delaware County and the opportunity to have your residents utilize our facility, but also work with us as faculty and staff in the facility as well. So it's very exciting for Ohio State.
Great. It's a real win-win.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Do you have anything else, Commissioner?
No, I guess just thanks Ohio State for investing real dollars into the infrastructure, to get the sewer extended. The City of Powell is also doing it, as well as the county. So again, it's good that we can work together and figure this out, because there is cost to to, the infrastructure there. So, again, thank you. Welcome, hopefully soon.
Thank you very much. Anything else, Commissioner Lewis?
No, thank you.
And I could, anything I say would be redundant, so I'll just say ditto and we'll move on. But it's great to have the role that you guys are going to play in the next few years. Thank you very much. Anything else?
Just so you know that Powell is looking to vote on the IGA on November 20th, so.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Okay. Vote?
Vote on motion 18-1253. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
I'm going to go ahead with the next item. I thought Rob Riley would be here, but
They're having their event today.
resolution number 18-1254 in the matter of the rebidding of the project known as 2019 Culvert Supply Contract.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. They're not here. Is there any reason to, any discussion necessary, or?
No, I just know that the estimate is $126,600, and it is a rebid, and I'm going out on a limb here, but I think sometimes that when they do out their culverts, they do usually have to do a second bid. They're just not
If
interested.
no other comments, vote?
Resolution number 18-1254. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1255 in the matter of appointing members to the Delaware County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Jane Hawes, Communications Director. I'll preface this before we do all three of the boards we're considering. Once again, with all of them, we had really excellent applicants for, it's very gratifying to see how many people in the community are interested in getting more involved. So with this first one, the Board of Developmental Disabilities, based on your feedback, we are recommending Stephen Finney and Theodore Klecker for appointment to the board.
Any questions or comments? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-1255. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
And I would like to just, we had a lot of to reinforce what you said, we had a lot of really good candidates, and sometimes it's difficult to make choices, and applaud and appreciate everybody who applied, and we wish these two people well in the job they're going to be doing.
Thank you.
Resolution number 18-1256 in the matter of reappointing members to the Delaware County Finance Authority Board of Directors.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion?
This one is for the Delaware County Finance Authority. Again, a lot of interest in this one, but I think based on your feedback, there was tremendous interest in seeing people, Scott Cubberly and Frank Reinhardt, who are currently on the board, continuing in that position, given the success that the current board has had with its activities. So we recommend their approval for reappointment.
Any comments, questions?
Yeah, I'd just like to comment, Frank Reinhardt has been on this board for a long time.
That's
He
right.
was on it when it was very inactive, and so I know he's particularly pleased to see, the group start to become very active, and he's been an integral part of doing that. Scott just joined a couple years ago, I think it was, and it's a complicated agency, and Scott's learning. He represents Delaware County very well, knows very well, has a lot of relationships around the county, and brings a lot of local knowledge to the board. And he's learned a lot as well and contributed. So I look forward to both of these gentlemen contributing and continuing the positive momentum of this group. Very busy, a lot of positive things going on.
Right. This requires both boards, the Board of Developmental Disabilities and then our Finance Authority Board require a lot of time and expertise. So this is really good. We have some really good people whom we're appointing and reappointing.
Yeah, I think I just want to reinforce, this board, the quality of the applicants was substantial, and, but it was difficult when we have two very involved, very active, experienced people who are currently serving. I think the weight of that outweighed, but it's not a reflection on the other candidates, and it's my hope they'll continue to find other ways to serve or seek out other opportunities down the road on this board.
And
But,
we do communicate that to them when
this
we
has been
contact them.
this board has made an evolution in the last 6-7 years from what it was to where it is today, and I think we're all appreciative of that effort.
Yeah.
Vote?
Vote on motion 18-1256. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1257, in the matter of appointing a member to the North Star Community Authority Board of Trustees.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion.
With this one, based on your feedback, we've settled on Richard Thayer as our recommendation for approval. He is a resident of the North Star community and brings a wealth of experience in organizational management from his service in the military, so we thought he'd be a great addition. We recommend your approval.
Any questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-1257. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1258, in the matter of approving and authorizing the execution of a bargaining unit agreement with International Association of EMTs and Paramedics, Local R711, NAGE SEIU.
So move.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Chief Shuling, County EMS. As you're aware, we've been in contract negotiations for quite some time, and while we reached a tenant agreement this past December, it was taken to the collective bargaining unit, and they did not pass that agreement. That led us into fact-finding conciliation, essentially on 4 specific articles of the contract itself, those being vacations and more specifically the payment upon in the event there be an employee death. We wanted it to match the statute of how that was paid out. The bargaining unit didn't like that terminology and the language within that, and we settled on the ability for an individual to select who they would like that to be paid out to, rather than just being paid to the estate of. Compensatory time was an issue throughout the language of the contract. Our bargaining unit members are paid at straight time, and they were asking that be paid at time and a half. We were able to keep that at a straight time pay based upon the hours that they work, and it would be a significant impact. So that was a very large win for us. And always wages and the longevity pay. There's been a trend throughout the last several years to remove the longevity increases from the tenure. And what we were trying to do is we've been using the term grandfather and buy out, or freeze that longevity so that it would not continue to evergreen year after year. So currently the award was to freeze the longevity for the current tenured employees. No new employees would receive that longevity payment, and we would essentially purchase that longevity for a 1%. Within the wages, what it basically boils down to in a nutshell is a 3% each year of the contract for 3 years, with the possibility of a wage reopener negotiations at the end of this term, or about a year and a half from now. So the conciliation award was, I think, very favorable to the county, and after a lot of work by myself, Ms. Sana Jerry, and Ms. Houston, I think it was a very good contract, and we're pleased with the ending of it. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions or comments?
Thanks for the explanation again.
I just want to say, anytime there's negotiation, hopefully everybody wins, and I think we're very lucky to have the people who are serving our county in the EMS, and I think they do an outstanding job, and I appreciate the job they do. And with that, if there's no other comments, let's vote.
Vote on motion 18-1258. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
That brings us to administrator reports.
And I know that we're going to have some thoughtful, well-prepared comments. From
Yes,
the
well, the first thing I wanted to say is I wanted to fact-check Tiffany's 10 to 20 years on those computers, because Gateways, my wife and I bought when we were first married. Talk about a real great wedding gift, but
Very romantic.
was a Gateway computer in 1995. So I think those computers probably are more on
That
the
was your wedding gift to her?
20 to 25 years, so. Okay. So, yeah, I haven't seen a Gateway computer in a long time, but anyway. Today, I'm going to be going to, County Engineer Bowserman has his township meeting, annual township meeting,
and I was going to be going and representing you all because you're going to be at the Renaissance for the Finance Authority meeting. And I talked to Chris. I was just going to, talk about a few things, about the Career Center and how I think it'll be a lot more of a one-stop shop for the township with soil and water, regional planning, county engineer, regional sewer. So talk a little bit about that and how the plans are developing. Also the Track It software and some of those. I know the southern townships will, in the middle townships will be a little more interested in that process. And then lastly, I was going to talk more about some of the economic development tools that Bob and Rob and Jenna are developing with the Finance Authority that can help in some of the township areas when they see development with JEDs and other things like that. So I don't know if there's anything else you want me to bring. I was also going to put myself out there for a free question, answering as well to the group.
Just extend our regrets that we can't be there because of the conflict.
Yeah, it's good that Chris does that, gets everybody
Really,
together, the engineer.
Very
and
well
townships,
attended
and
by
work
the
well together.
townships and others.
One other comment I'll make, and with the Ohio State contract that you guys approved, that was one where there was some sequencing of the sewer service. When you look at all the potential development in that area, and with the large user that Ohio State was, it wasn't going to be something that immediately would be able to be serviced. There was some off-site infrastructure. And so we worked, Tiffany and I worked with them to come up with a way to phase it along with their facilities and as the growth of the development. I think, when we came on board, it was always a very, do we have service ultimately for the entire, and that agreement puts a lot of in place and good collaboration between Powell and Ohio State and the county to come up with a solution that allows them, everybody's goals, I think, of the initial phase were met with the long term.
In the township, they also played a role in it as well.
Yep, definitely.
Right.
That's it?
Yeah, it's,
Mr. Lewis?
Well, Mike mentioned the Finance Authority luncheon today. This is their first luncheon, so I'm excited, and they played a real role in getting the Renaissance here. So that's really great. Very, very apropos then that they have their first luncheon there. And then, well, I'm going to steal some of the events that we're going to talk about. Tomorrow morning, we have the Veterans Breakfast at Source Point, and then actually the credit on that, most of the credit does go to Commissioner Merrill, who has worked on that. So I won't say anything more about that. I'll let you continue.
It's already done.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And that's it.
Commissioner?
What's on your list? I want to make sure I cover them.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
The Finance Authority luncheon, I think Commissioner Lewis looked at my list.
I'm going to make a comment on, you say Renaissance. When you first came up, I'm thinking a Renaissance Festival. For the benefit of everybody, this is the Renaissance Hotel. We're not going to
Right. Some medieval.
We're not going into a medieval festival.
The Finance Authority lunch, again, I think it's great that they're doing this and inviting people who are engaged with the Finance Authority and helping to spread the word on their many tools and the projects that they've done and projects that are in the pipeline, so it's great. Veterans Parade is Sunday at 3 o'clock in downtown Delaware. And what I did want to mention, the 11th, which is Sunday, is the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I. That's why it's Veterans Day. It was the 11th hour, 11th day of the 11th month. So again, that was the war to end all wars. Didn't quite work out that way. Ohio Wesleyan's having their annual economic conference, Outlook Conference on Tuesday evening, and then we got a TID meeting on Wednesday. That group continues to move forward on different projects.
My turn?
Your turn?
Okay, let me check off. That's been talked about. Just a couple things. I was privileged to work the polls Tuesday evening, and there were a lot of people involved in making that a successful event for our county. And I think again, we've expressed our prejudice before, but I think our county, our Board of Elections does as well as anyone. And to see the students that are working, to see the people from the Mayor Powell to any number of people I could name, Judge Himanowski, all they're working to help to make sure we have a good election. They should all be commended, and I applaud each and every one of them that was involved that evening. Regarding the Veterans event, Commissioner Lewis and I will be there tomorrow, and I believe you're out of town. And we look forward to it. It's an important event. It's our way, or the county's way, of saying thank you to our veterans. And they, sometimes I think we don't say it enough or say it well. So that's our opportunity to do that tomorrow. And I think Source Point is the ideal location for that. And I hope we have a successful event tomorrow and be able to keep that out there annually after tomorrow's event. The parade Sunday, I will be in the parade. So I think that is at 3 o'clock. And we are in the middle of our budget meetings. Those started this week. And I was very impressed with the quality that we had come in and talk about it yesterday. And we'll be having more of those next week and afterwards. And there are so many good things going on in this county right now. When you hear Commissioner Bender, Commissioner Lewis, or Mike Frommer talk about them, it reminds you of all the things that we're doing in this county. And we should be very proud of a lot of the people serving on the boards, serving in so many different ways to make this county what it is. So, so thank you to everybody that's involved. And with that, I think we have...
Oh, I'm sorry, I just thought of one more thing. As you mentioned the vote, I just found out yesterday that Delaware County had the highest voting percentage in the state. It was over 65%. And one other county was close. I forget the name of the county, but Delaware County was first, so, in voter participation.
I had not heard that, but I think that speaks well of everybody that worked on this election, both
Yes.
sides. And
Yes.
so fantastic.
Yeah.
Do we have any executive?
Resolution number 18-1259, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of the sale of property at competitive bidding.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-1259. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We are now in executive session.
Resolution number 18-1260, in the matter of adjourning out of executive session.
So moved.
Oh, second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-1260. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
There is no other business to bring before us. We are adjourned. Is all this me, or is anything for...
I think there's some expense requests. There's some stuff the Barb needs to sign.